Look at that mess. Alright, YouTube. One of the things I'm starting to realize about this new layout is that the black cars seem to show up a lot better. So in this video, we're going to recap no new cars, but I wanted to do a couple of comparisons and also just look at a couple of Greenlight cars that are black. So you're free to watch if you want. If not, you can definitely not watch it. But for you two guys that always hit the thumbs down, might as well do that real quick, get it out of the way. And then you can enjoy the rest of the video. And for everybody else, we'll get right at it. So we'll start with this Greenlight Hollywood series. From the, I don't remember if it was a television show or a movie. I never watched it, but it was called Hunter. And it's a 1979 Pontiac Trans Am from Greenlight. You can see fingerprints and smudges all over it. They wipe right out. It's just the oils of my skin. Man, this thing is so sharp looking. I get a lot of love with this car. A lot of people asking where it's from, who did it, all that kind of stuff. I think it was Series 8 Hollywood, but I'm not positive. But in my opinion, this is Greenlight's best attempt at the Trans Am. Any year. You can take the 4th gen Trans Ams and, or were those 3rd gen? I don't remember, but I think you can include those, and this is still the best one they've ever done. Because it's one of the few that they actually got the stance right. Most of their early Trans Ams don't have proper stance. Usually the wheels sit way too far inside the wheel well. But this one here is pretty much money, in my opinion. Wheels and tires look great. The car overall, very nice. And another black car from Greenlight is this Corvette. I think this is a 1980 if I'm not mistaken. That's a 70. I can't read it, it's too small, but it's either a 78 or a 79. Now this car here sometimes looks really, really good. And other times, to me, there's something off about it. I think the front end just sits a little bit too high. It's a shame, too, because it is otherwise a very nice car. The deco on this thing, the black on silver with the red pinstripe, looks killer. I got fingerprints all over it. I need to wipe my cars down. I don't mind it so much when it's on the paint. When I hate it is when it gets on the windows. I try to avoid that. But yeah, this Corvette is pretty bitchin'. Pretty rad. The rear quarter angle looks good. See that front end? It just looks like it's... This looks like it sets a little bit too high. It's my only complaint with the car. Proportionately, I think it's pretty much spot on. And I know this car, a lot like the 240Z, it can be a hard car to do. You know, these two-door sports cars with the really long front ends, like the Toyota 2000 GT, the Corvette, the 240Z, all those cars, they can be kind kind of difficult to do. And the way you can tell is just based on how many brands have tried it and not gotten it right. Now with the Corvette here, there are some nice examples out there. Even at the dollar price point, there are some pretty decent examples. Another Greenlight car that I had to get out for this is this Mustang GT 5.0 in black. So this is a 1987. It's a very early Greenlight release. It showed up in Greenlight Muscle Series 1. And this car, back when the Muscle Series first started, the cars came with a little accessory. Might have been a toolbox or a gas pump. Actually, I don't think they had gas pumps back then, but a toolbox or something like that. But this car came with an extra set of wheels, which of course I'm not going to... These are prototypical GT wheels. I'm not going to take them off of the car. This car is so well executed that it is quite possibly the single nicest Fox body Mustang ever made in 1:64 scale. It is that nice. It's not my favorite. I like the silver one from County Roads 5. But from an accuracy standpoint, and you know, the silver one that I like doesn't have prototypical wheels. This thing is accurate to a T to the car. The color of the interior is spot on. The interior is accurate to the car even. And then of course the black with the red, all the badging, the 5.0, the wheels, the headlights, the fog lights, all of it is accurate to the car. And then in the back you have very nice looking transparent lens tail lights. That's what really separates this one from others. Not that there are any serious contenders with this anyways. I think the only other brand that did it was Johnny Lightning. And we all know that Johnny Lightning can't compete with Greenlight when it comes to replicating models in this scale. I mean, you take a Greenlight Fox body, set it next to a Johnny Lightning Fox body, there is absolutely zero comparison to be made. It's like comparing a Hot Wheels to an Auto World. It just can't be compared. Now, it's not to say that Johnny Lightning can't make nice stuff, because, I mean, this right here is absolute proof that they certainly can. Although I don't know why this idiot parked on the hose. I love that Land Cruiser. So, how many have they done now? Pre and post round 2, 25, 30 different Land Cruisers. Of all of the Land Cruisers that they've done, this one here, hands down, unequivocally, without question, my favorite. I absolutely love this Land Cruiser. Okay, so back to the Mustang. So the Johnny Lightning is all painted detail, and with the Greenlight you get transparent lens headlight and taillight inserts. Plus, unlike the Johnny Lightning, you get prototypical wheels with the Greenlight. I do think Johnny Lightning might have an OEM wheel for the Fox body, but it's a different wheel. This is a nice low number too, number 110. Got the green post. It's a loose mint car. It's one of the cars that will never leave my collection. As much as people try, they will not get this car from me. because it would just be too hard to replace. It doesn't come up that often for sale. And when it does, it's about a $40 or $50 car. Unless you get lucky and find it at auction, like I did. But even then, it's still $30. So that's a really cool car. Take one more quick look at this. If any of you know the year of this Mini Cooper, please comment. I think it's not a vintage Mini. It's not like one of the originals from the 60s, but it's not one of the super modern late model Minis. I think it's like 80s or 90s maybe. I don't know, but if you guys know, please comment. It's a really cool car. I'm super glad that I picked that one up. I've seen it in pictures, and I always thought, man, that's a cool little car. If I ever get the chance, I will buy it. Okay. Little Italian job. All right, so the rest of this, well, let me do this one real quick. This is a very underrated, underappreciated Greenlight release. So this van from the TV show Lost was released in 1:24 scale by Greenlight, but it was released twice in 1:64 scale. This one here came out in the film reel, which also included an orange 1970 Camaro, and it was like a 92 or 93 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. And I don't remember the other one. I think it might have been a Volkswagen Beetle. But this thing is awesome because look at it. It's roached out, weathered, a lot like our Toyota over here. So after the film reel came out, not too long after that, in the Hollywood series, they released it in good condition. So there's a mint version of this. I have both, but the other one I don't display. So it came out like this as a rust bucket, and then it came out in the Hollywood series as a nice, fresh, new car. Lens headlights and taillights on this one. I don't understand Greenlight because they have a Type 2 van. Sometimes they will release this with painted taillights, and other times they release it with the lens headlights. I'm not sure if it's two different toolings. I don't know why it would be two different toolings for the same van. But I love this one with that roached out, weathered look. Just to compare, for those of you that want to compare roached out diecast, these are two definite nice ones. Another nice one that would look good next to these is the Dirty Christine. This Land Cruiser is so killer. That's probably not just my favorite Johnny Lightning Land Cruiser. It might be my favorite Johnny Lightning release of all time. I liked the dirty one from the Gone Fishin'. That was a Miho exclusive. I liked that one, but this one totally outdoes it. And I really wish we would see more diecast put out like this, because it's so much more accurate to today's time. You know, even if they weren't, even like, I guess even like a car like this 87 Mustang, even if they would just make this look like it was an everyday daily driver, A little bit of wear and tear, not much, just, you know, make it look like it's been on the road. But instead, we either get these cars that look brand new, like they're fresh off the showroom floor, or they look like they haven't been driven in 30 years. So I wish Greenlight and Auto World and also Kyosho and all the other brands, I wish they would find the happy medium. All right. So before we get into the two comparisons, we'll look at this last one here. Actually, I do have a couple more, but this is a Konami Toyota Soarer. I've shown this one a few times, so I'm not going to get into it. Cool car. And then this one, I've only shown one time that I know of, and that was when I got it. This is a Greenlight Chrysler 300C. It's a very nice casting. Transparent lens headlights with indicators. All kinds of painted detail with the grille, all the trim, side view mirrors, prototypical wheels, rubber tires with tread. It does not have lens tail lights, but that's okay. They're detailed plenty nice enough for me. And then you've got this tan leather looking interior. Now, windows are one of Greenlight's weaknesses. It's one of their worst features of some of their cars is the side windows, because it's a separate piece and they glue it onto the casting, and sometimes the glue, I don't know if it's just water evaporating out of it or what, but sometimes it'll fog up the windows. Like this one, for example, looks like condensation. It looks like it has condensation on the windows, which could be a good thing on a car like this that's, you know, supposed to be a rust bucket that's been out sitting in a field for 40 years. It almost makes you look at it and think, God, did they do that intentionally? But the answer to that is no. It is not supposed to have moisture in the glass. Greenlight does some good detail, but not that good. So I don't know what causes it, but some kind of condensation. I'm assuming it's just something with the glue, because, you know, they're gluing down the windows on the car. It's not like Hot Wheels where you have a plastic insert that just goes in and sets in there. And all these premium cars are like that. You know, all these windows are separate pieces. It's very seldom that you'll find one that is one piece. Man, that's a cool car. I love cars, but I especially love oddball stuff like this. Where else are you going to see a car like this in this scale? The only other brand that did it that I know of is Kyosho. Okay, now let's look real quick. So last night I got a couple of cars. I got a Kyosho R32 and an Aoshima AE86. So we'll start with the Kyosho R32 Skyline, which, by the way, is one of the best looking 1/64 scale cars I've ever seen. It is so clean. Absolutely love it. But I wanted to compare it with the R34. I do happen to have a pretty nice looking R34 from Kyosho. Like the R32, it's a light colored metallic finish. But as you look at the R34 and compare it to the R32, I like the R32 a lot better. The R32 looks a lot like an R34 that went on a diet. That's not to take anything from the R34. It is still a very nice looking car. I actually like it a lot. But from a styling standpoint, I like this one better. And I know a lot of you will hedge your bets with this one, and that's fine. Can't go wrong either way. So that's the first one. The second one is this Aoshima Toyota Corolla AE86 Toyota, the Vertex Corolla. Very cool casting. Got a smoking deal on this last night. So this one has the flip-up headlights that are clearly turned off. It does have ground effects. It does have the 6-spoke black wheels. And it does have lensed taillight detail, which isn't important to me, but it is something that I really do like. Some window graphics. So this is a great looking car, pretty highly accurate, and definitely a nice level of detail in this casting. Now, let's compare the Aoshima to the Kyosho. You guys can comment below who do you think did a better job. Now keep in mind, the Kyosho is not a Trueno. It's a Levin. Or Levin. I don't know how it's pronounced. Levin. I don't know. But for me, I think Kyosho did a better job executing the build. And that's not to take anything from Aoshima, because the Aoshima car is very nice and I'm very happy to have it. But everything on the Kyosho just seems to be a little bit tighter. A little bit more fine-tuned. The headlights on this thing look incredible. But I think the taillights is where you'll notice the big difference between these two cars. Both of them have transparent lens taillights. I shouldn't say transparent, I should say translucent. The headlights would be transparent. The taillights are translucent. So here's the Aoshima. Translucent taillights with detailed reverse lights and indicators. Even the bulbs are detailed, which is pretty impressive. You don't get that very often. And here, let's do that again in the light. Aoshima, Kyosho. So the plastic used for the Aoshima definitely does a better job conducting the light. But other than that, I like the Kyosho better because I just think it's a cleaner, more precise placement. And I don't know, I just like this one a little bit better. But I do like this car a lot. I like the ground effects. I think that looks really good. I mean, These are two sick AE86s. Now there is a Kyosho that I would like to get, but it's about $100, and I will never pay that for a diecast car because, well, there's one diecast car that I would pay a couple $100 for, but I'll never find it, so it doesn't matter. But if you're wondering, you know, because if you happen to have one laying around and you want to make a couple $100, if I ever come across a CM's diecast Toyota MR2, that is the only car that I would fork out that kind of cash for. But the other Corolla that I'd like to get that is about $100 car is the Kyosho Initial D, the Tofu Panda. That is a car that I would break out. I would not break out that kind of. I would pay decent money for it, but the MR2 is a car that I would break out the bank for. So, what do you guys say? Which one do you guys like? Can't go wrong either way. Same thing with these two. You can't go wrong either way. I just happen to like the R32 a little bit better. And in the case of the Toyotas, I just happen to like the Kyosho a little bit better. From a value standpoint, the Kyosho and the Aoshima are probably about the same. The value on these, I don't know because I haven't checked the R34 in a while. I think it's around 25 to 30, and this one is more like 20-ish. So the R34 is a little bit more. Neither one of these cars came in the standard Kyosho bubbles. Actually, both of these cars came in an acrylic that looks just like this. Somebody was telling me that this is not a factory Kyosho car, that somebody lowered them and put these wheels on. I do not believe that to be the case. I'm pretty sure these are straight from Kyosho. I don't know how you could have lowered this without drilling the base, and the base is spun. It doesn't make any sense. Plus, every one of these R32s that I've seen, they're all the same silver with white wheels. So whoever commented that, I would love to hear who your source is on that, because I don't believe that to be true. I know that there are plenty of fake Kyoshos out there, but the only known fake Kyoshos are the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And I know you're not saying that this is fake, you're just saying that it's altered. You're saying that someone lowered the stance and took the original wheels off and put these wheels on. And like I said, I don't believe that to be the case. I believe this car came straight from Kyosho, just like this. So, on that note, so the blue Toyota is made by, sorry for the shaky camera, made by a company called Aoshima. They are also the maker of this Mazda RX-3. This is the type of car that Kyosho is known for making. These types of cars Aoshima releases pretty regularly. They still make them today. They still put them out. Those type of cars, which are much more, I wouldn't say civilian model, but much closer to a civilian model than these, they haven't done those ones in a while that I know of. Same thing with that Toyota Supra that I got from last night's video. But yeah, this Mazda RX-3 is a gem. It's a beautiful car. I think they did a smashing job on it. Looks fantastic. cool thing about this one is that as low as it is to the ground, and it's low, it is still a rolling car. And with a lot of Aoshimas, you don't get that. They probably have a lower percentage of rolling cars than Kyosho does. I'm pretty sure of that, actually. So anyways, did I show this one? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Greenlight Chrysler 300C. Pretty cool car. I love cars. I love cars. I love diecast. It's just so much fun to collect. Toyota. All right. Well, on that note, we will go ahead and wrap this one up. We got the Mini Cooper. By the way, Mini Cooper made by Shuko. Mazda RX-3 made by Aoshima. R32 and R34 Nissan Skylines made by Kyosho. Toyota Soarer made by Konami. Pontiac Trans Am and Chevrolet Corvette, as well as Ford Mustang and Volkswagen Type 2, all made by Greenlight. We have the red Toyota Corolla AE86 Levin, made by Kyosho. And we have the blue Toyota Corolla AE86, made by, this one is a Trueno, made by Aoshima. So decent little assortment of cars, some domestic and import. Different brands of diecast. And then obviously there's one here in the screen in view that we didn't look at that we should because it's out. How about a 3/4 ton pickup? Pretty sure this is a 2500, not a 1500. Yep. So this is the Dodge Ram. Unfortunately, though, it's the Hemi. I'd like it better if it was the Cummins, but it is an awesome release. It's actually, this truck is actually a pretty tough one to find now. There's a couple of releases of this. This was an all-terrain release, and then they did this casting right around the same time as a hobby exclusive. It was that reddish orange color with the Power Wagon graphics. That one, not all that long ago, was selling for over $20 loose. I think it's come down a little bit, but I don't know why this casting is climbing in value like that. Actually, I guess I do. It's because it's a freaking awesome looking truck. But that's the thing with Greenlight, you know. Some of them just kind of take on a life of their own, and you never know which one it's going to be. But I do like that truck a whole lot. That's a great angle of it right there. Front quarter. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the diecast. And I will holler at you guys at the next video. Not sure when that'll be. I do have a trade box that's on the way. And Custom 164 Farm Trucks, if you're watching, I have your package packed up, labeled, ready to go. I just need to get to the post office. And 100 Little Cars, same thing with you. Got yours packed and ready. And Champion DJK, I know you and I are just trying to wrap up a trade. I've got all your stuff set aside though, and I have some ideas for that Plymouth. I'll be sending you some pictures. Other than that, everybody, thank you. I will talk to you all at the next video. Happy hunting.